Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It is Friday, August the 1st. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
The most iconic swing in golf requires a special tee.
We played the scene back and forth like 10 times. It's super quick. It's only like a tenth of a second, but you can actually see them. And so that was, I didn't expect that.
It was this past weekend when Mario Kaya sat down to watch the new Happy Gilmore 2 movie, when he saw the golf tee he had been crafting for more than 15 years. We
started watching the movie Happy Gilmore 2, and my wife said, wouldn't it be really cool if they could use your tee in the movie? Then she got up to get a drink in the kitchen, and just when that happened, I saw a scene where he actually used my tee in a golf simulator.
Inspired by a badminton birdie, Kaya created his Burr tees for golfers to tee their ball up at a consistent height. They are now one of the most popular tees used at golf simulators around the world.
The simulator they use in the movie is Full Swing. And Full Swing is one of my biggest customers. They're a big simulator company out of San Diego. So they buy like 4 boxes of 250 packs basically every time that they order.
The tees are 100% local, made at LD Tool and Die in Stittsville, with labels from Smiths Falls and packaged in Kaya's Perth basement.
Marion and I happened to be in our own houses watching the same movie at the same time, and I saw it and I sent him a text that, oh look, you're on the screen.
Kaya also believes that his tee could help improve Happy Gilmore's game.
What people find is the constant height, again, is what they like. So, especially with his kind of swing, because there's a lot of moving parts when he does that. So knowing that the ball is always at the height that he likes, then hopefully it would help.
From the simulator to the big screen, Kaya is now hoping his tees will make it to the course.
Maybe now with the exposure, a little bit of exposure with Happy Gilmore, who knows, maybe a golfer one of these days will use them on the course and not just in the simulator to practice with.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Perth.
Preksha Shah is in her happy place.
For me personally, I'm a very adrenaline junkie, so I love flying, and it's also just really cool.
While this is a high-fidelity flight simulator, the aviation student has been in the cockpit of the real deal, too.
And the end goal, I definitely want to be like a commercial airline pilot.
Shah is one of 20 participants in a study at the University of Waterloo using the simulator.
We have data that challenges traditional assumptions in aviation these days, and that's kind of groundbreaking to be able to have this evidence to support the fact that, you know, women belong in this industry.
For the study, participants with the same experience wore eye-tracking glasses and completed standard flight tasks, but with a twist. An unexpected total engine failure.
I was immediately able to be like, okay, we've had an engine failure and the runway's right there. Now I just need to land.
As calmly and as safely as possible.
And then maneuver the plane to said space where they could land the plane and let the air traffic controllers know that there was a mayday, there's an emergency on board.
The lead author of the study says women may be better at keeping control and making decisions in stressful flight scenarios.
Female participants were able to manage that much better in these high-stress scenarios versus those male pilots who ended up having a little bit more error with respect to, say, things like the airspeed they were trying to control while coming down from this engine failure and safely landing the plane.
Highlighting the importance of looking beyond surface level indicators when measuring pilot performance.
Only 6 to 7% of airline pilots are women. And that's a tremendous challenge when you think about there not being enough pilots in the system, and how do we attract and retain a workforce to support the future.
The team hopes their findings will help shape what the industry looks for pilots of the future.
As to why did females perform better, that isn't so clear-cut. The lead author says there's no tie to distinct gender differences that have been shown in the neurocognitive research because it's just too complex of a task tied to a specific type of mental capability. She says the main takeaway is these findings can be integrated in current training protocols for future pilots.
Well, Summer McIntosh does it again, winning that 3rd gold medal and almost getting a world record, off by 0.2 of a second. She was visibly frustrated by that, but a golden moment nonetheless, and her quest for 5 gold medals at the World Aquatics Championships continues. Here's what the 18-year-old had to say about her swim.
To see that I missed it by that little, and I know that I messed up the last about 15 meters of my race. I mean, overall really happy with the time of the PB, but I didn't reach my goal tonight. But happy with the gold, happy with the win, and just gonna keep pushing forward.
Now, we were here this morning at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre with some of the young swimmers who gathered around an iPad to watch the race live. So many of them said they were in awe of McIntosh and inspired by what she's doing, attempting to match the record set by the legendary Michael Phelps, who's the only person to have won 5 individual gold medals at a world championship.
It's like crazy. She's like a literal machine. Pretty cool.
Based off of watching Summer and her reaction, I think she was frustrated that she was so close to the world record and didn't get it. But she just has that like hungry spirit, and it just motivates everyone around her.
She's bringing attention to everyone in Canada about the sport of swimming. That doesn't happen very often. And the people that are involved in the sport of swimming are like all in watching her and rooting for her.
Now, McIntosh, who's of course from Toronto, will next go for gold on Saturday in the 800-meter freestyle. That is a highly anticipated race because she'll go up against Katie Ledecky, who is the current world record holder in that event. And then on Sundays, she'll try again for gold in the 400-meter individual medley, an event she is favored to win. Jonathan Avelli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Art is in the eye of the beholder. And with this art, you'll need a bird's eye view to truly take it all in.
Have painted surfaces globally around the world, and also very blessed many locations in Toronto, and then leading us to where we're currently standing, my largest piece to date.
Toronto-based artist Birdo, who likes to keep his identity a secret, draws his own unique avian look as a nod to his art. He's creating a 26,000 square foot mural on the top of the Cumberland Parkade.
When I mocked it up, I usually know this, I was just like, that's it. Let's go, let's challenge ourselves, which it's been, but it's sort of just, it's taking shape as we go.
The concept, a shout out to a bird synonymous with the city and the Major League Baseball franchise in Toronto.
In his practice, he always uses different kinds of animals, and in this particular case, it's a blue jay.
As I was doing concepts, I've been saying, I just think the blue jay is an unofficial mascot of our city.
The large-scale mural is a kickoff of the Yorkville Murals Festival and its theme of no empty spaces.
Yorkville Murals is all about public art. It's about creating an experience for people that is free. I invite everyone during the festival to come early in the morning. We have activations until late in the evening.
The rooftop project is almost complete and will be ready to take flight and open to the public August 23rd during the festival.
So this is for you. This is for you up in the condo to look down. However you want to interpret it, I'm okay with that.
The mural here is now a permanent fixture and will join the rest of the work that will be in the Yorkville Murals Festival taking place August 23rd and 24th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
It's 40 degrees.
At this glass-blowing studio, getting a reprieve from the heat is tough. The temperature is even hotter in front of the oven. It's 1,100 degrees Celsius inside.
But I mean, you're working with lava. It's supposed to be hot.
Trying to keep cool is key when working with intense heat.
We take breaks. We take cool off. You almost temporize to the heat. You know, it's kind of, you just pretend you're like living in a hotter country. Like your body gets used to doing it a little bit more.
Leah Cudell spends hours working in the heat. When temperatures soar outside, keeping cool and hydrated is important.
Fans, obviously, lots of water, lots of bubbly. We drink fizzy water like it's going out of style. We also just douse our head in cold water.
From the heat to the snow, this artist's inspiration comes from the cold.
I don't necessarily love winter. I'm not a snow bunny. I'm not out there snowshoeing, but it is my favorite season to paint.
A scenic, snowy street, real-life inspiration from her Otwell neighborhood.
Snow is blue and violets in its shadows. It just gives you different depths and different tones of blues.
Even though it's the summer, Ashley Timo started painting this in June.
I think just how cool it is, and its color scheme really helps to convey that feeling of being cold.
Back at the studio, there is no escaping the heat.
Just because it's hot doesn't mean we can just like take vacation all summer, sadly.
The return to cold will be a reality in a few months. For now, these artists are channeling winter to get through the next few days. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Can you show me how many of you are worried about your health and safety?
All 26 people in the room raised their hands. These Edgewood residents, beef producers, retired plumbers and paramedics, bus drivers and barbers are no longer staying quiet. They're angry. Universal Ostrich Farm is defying a cull order by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and they fear the fallout.
I mean, it makes me feel like I'm living next to Chernobyl.
69 birds died during an avian flu outbreak last winter. UOF believes the surviving ostriches are healthy. Since January, the owners have been fighting in court to block the death sentences.
The ostrich farm has had the CFIA on the ropes by having protesters, by having court cases, by having appeals.
A cull will jeopardize the farm's contract with a Japanese scientist to use the ostriches for antibody research. But challenging the rules has collateral effects. Some countries are refusing to buy poultry from BC, while other farmers worry their animals will be infected.
Well, we worry about being our prices being knocked down because of the potential of avian flu in cattle.
The influx of strangers who have set up camp to protest are also raising alarms.
Edgewood is not about violence. So when they thought CFIA was coming, they barricaded the side road.
But the owners say their fight isn't just for the birds.
It is for food security, it's for better wage, for getting rid of, changing policy, fixing fractured and flawed systems.
The townspeople aren't convinced. Instead, they're depending on the CFIA to protect them from the ostrich farm.
If it isn't the government's job to regulate and protect these things, then whose job is it?
The culling controversy has dragged on for nearly 8 months. The residents want this matter resolved as soon as possible. But the farm's owners say they are willing to take this matter all the way to the Supreme Court. Judy Trin, CTV News, Edgewood, BC.
With a ribbon cutting to officially open a new section of the Sydney Boardwalk, celebrations got underway for the Cape Breton Regional Municipality's 30th anniversary of amalgamation.
The fact that we've gone from managing decline to now managing growth, and I'd much rather manage growth.
On August 1st, 1995, 8 former cities and towns, including Glace Bay, North Sydney, and New Waterford, merged to form the CBRM. While the past few decades have included struggles like years of population decline and loss of industries, the city's mayor feels it has been turning a corner.
We went from what was, a forced amalgamation to now a celebrated coming together of community of communities, and that spirit will be shared through our 30th year celebrations across the CBRM.
Hoping to see more young people get involved, young people like myself who ran for council.
This 21-year-old who put his name on a ballot in last year's municipal election wasn't born at the time of amalgamation, but says there are situations when people in the former cities and towns seem to feel like they have lost some of their autonomy.
There are the times where people are arguing that sometimes individual places like Glace Bay have specific needs that need to be met, but where we're standing right now, I feel like our amalgamation is definitely strong.
The municipality is not without its issues, among them the hundreds of abandoned buildings in all the former cities and towns, including this one directly across the street from City Hall.
As one of the volunteers, maybe I shouldn't be so impatient, but I think that time is moving on.
Pat Bates has been pushing for years for CBRM to replace its aging library. While he points to positives like the influx of new residents from out of country, he says that kind of migration means all the more need for a new build.
And we are aware, of course, of what's going on in other large communities in the Atlantic. Charlottetown, Fredericton, St. John's, Newfoundland, Halifax too, of course. And it's only common sense that Sydney should be adjusting.
Mayor Clark says other issues that ought to be addressed in the near future include aging infrastructure, the need to meet regulatory requirements, and improvements to basic services, including transportation. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
This, to me, is our Niagara Falls.
The Windsor Riverfront is a draw for residents from near and far.
There's so much to see in Windsor. Yeah, Windsor has a lot of potential, I think, for sure.
Richard Burton enjoys visiting the city from London and riding the trail between the Ambassador Bridge and Walkerville, but like many, feels there could be more to offer visitors in that stretch.
I just think more places to stop and have a drink or something to eat, burgers places, stuff like that. Anything just to bring the people down. See, it's so beautiful.
In fairness, there are places to stop for a beverage and a bite to eat, but options are limited to the stretch between Jeanette and McDougall. Now, Ronaldo Agostino asked the council question earlier this month, asking for a review on the food truck bylaws. The ultimate goal? To have some scattered in the downtown core and along the riverfront.
This would make a great space to have like a food truck village where maybe once or twice a week or maybe on weekends or maybe it's a fixed thing where people could come, different vendors from downtown could come and use pre-existing trucks that are here.
In other parts of the riverfront, Agostino says temporary solutions, possibly involving shipping containers, may work like he has seen in other cities.
Imagine having a shipping container that is, for example, a coffee shop, and then you have a couple of shipping containers that are small market retailers that are available to anybody in the city to use.
Courtney Fisher has cycled the riverfront paths on both sides of the border, as have many others, and agrees there are improvements that could be made.
On the Detroit side, they have a lot of stations where if you run into trouble or you feel uncomfortable, you can call for help, like emergency buttons.
Fisher says attention to trail cleanliness is prevalent in Detroit, security is visible, and there's even a splash pad.
Even somewhere to grab water, or if you're walking your dog, more stops to have the dog water stations. Those are really helpful.
You could do games, you could do fun, you could do so many different things. A beach volleyball court down here would be fantastic.
Oceanaga brings in 150,000 music fans over 3 days, plus an army of staff working the event. The forecast for the 18th edition is sunny, but the political climate has thrown some shade.
The uncertainty about tariffs and uncertainty about the border have a larger impact than the tariffs themselves. They do. And uncertainty generally, when it passes a certain threshold, is really toxic for investment. It's toxic for business.
How it impacts the Canadian dollar and how it impacts, whether people are comfortable going back and forth over the border.
Julian Karagesian of McGill University says trade and tariff talks also affect tourism.
Year over year, June 24 to June 25, the latest data shows that visits by Americans by car, so over the land borders, down by 11%. And by air, I think it was down by almost 1%.
Yet, the founder of the Oceanaga Festival, Nick Farkas, says this weekend is almost sold out.
Our Americans our sales are pretty much on par with last year, versus Quebec, Ontario, America, outside the international sales. So far, looking pretty similar to last year and the year before. So we're encouraged to see that the Americans are still coming.
Americans are still coming, except for some sponsors, says site director Eric Fortin-Lambert.
Yeah, because of the what happened with the USA, some sponsorship were not able to be here. Yes.
But you have other sponsors? You have Canadian sponsors?
We have Canadian sponsors, yes. Yeah.
The economic ups and downs of putting on the biggest festival of its kind in Canada are matched only by the high notes on stage.
I feel like my set is like a roller coaster. It's really, I start very high energy and I go a little bit down and then up. And there's tons of things. We clap hands, we go down together, we jump. It's a nice ride.
Oceanaga rolls August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at Parc Jean Drapeau. Christine Long, CTV News.
These furry volunteers have a very important job to do, providing some positivity to patients at Sudbury's Health Sciences North.
We have some special guests.
Yes. This is the Pets as Therapy program, now referred to as Angels on Leashes. It was started by Rita Terry's veterinarian 40 years ago, and she's been a part of it right from the get-go.
We're very much in demand. We go once a month to each floor.
And we could be going 7 days a week, but sort of have to limit. And I try to have about 6 to 8 dogs at each visit.
There are 21 dogs and 20 volunteers in the program who visit 19 floors in the hospital, including the emergency department and the cancer clinic. Volunteers are always needed.
There is a commitment that you have to make, no question about it. We come to the hospital 3 times a week during the year, normally. But again, it's, as Rita told you before, it's the best job in the world. And the payback is both ways. So if you're looking for something that really brings you joy and you can bring joy to other people, it's a great thing to do, to share your dog with somebody.
There is science behind all of this cuteness. Research shows that petting a dog can decrease cortisol levels, otherwise known as the stress hormone. Terry says the program benefits patients and workers at the hospital, and it's not hard to see why.
Just to see the expressions on the people, and the staff will say, oh, she's been depressed, she hasn't said a word in ages, she's so depressed. And the smiles, you know, you can't help but like doing it, because it just makes your heart feel good. It really does. I can't explain it any better than that.
You can see people walking down the hallway and all of a sudden a smile breaks out on their face when they see the dogs. And you know you've made somebody's day better.
Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Although it's been years since he remembers first seeing it, Jeff DeRuiter will never forget it.
And it was a fellow who had just left the store saying, watch out everybody, there's only one left.
An online post about a statue of a duck with a banana body and a debatable name.
Duckana.
No matter how you pronounced it, Jeff thought it sounded wonderful.
That's something ridiculous. I love it.
Jeff wasn't alone. The Duckana went viral, inspiring countless comments, store sellouts, and appearances on late-night TV.
I myself didn't go out and run and get one, but I tried to fuel the fire of other people.
When he wasn't posting a Photoshop picture claiming to have donated an $8,000 bronze Duckana to the city as an April Fool's joke, Jeff was organizing a meet and greet beside a popular duck pond for Duckana fans to flock.
I brought like 127 bananas for people.
But the real appeal, pun intended, was building a sense of community through something silly.
It was amazing. It was super fun.
It was all that and more, until it really wasn't a thing anymore. Until, years later, Jeff happened upon a diminutive Duckana and decided to buy it as a souvenir of a silly time.
Is he going to come out like a sword?
Jeff named him Davian Pekinski.
Well, Davian is a D-avian, and then Pekinski like pekin, like duck.
While his cat was indifferent to Davian, Jeff was ultimately inspired to spread his wings and make hundreds of Duckana stickers.
As a sort of memorial of the Duckana craze.
Now, when he's not handing them out at the most recent Duckana gathering, he's offering them to strangers for free.
Oh, thank you so much.
I like it. I think it's hilarious.
No, I like it a lot. I appreciate it. Genuinely, this is awesome. You might as well do something that brings joy to yourself and to others, and giving to people feels good, and having people light up with excitement when they recognize it is awesome.
So keep your eyes peeled, because although people aren't going bananas for Duckanas anymore, the joy they hatched is still being nurtured by Jeff and Davian. Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Victoria.